Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now, I'm actually going to do a quick review of this closed beta. So yeah, let's just talk about it in general. I'm just going to sit here. I'm just going to give a brief overview of everything. So how has the game performed? Well, except for one or two little issues that I experienced, I don't know whether it was general in the community. I can show you what I mean by my computer runs at these rates all the times. And yesterday, for a period of about 3 to 4 hours, the game was inaccessible to me, right? I don't know whether it was directly related to my internet as a situation. I doubt it was because I had a consistent speed, a very high speed for my locality. And yeah, that was quite good. I double checked the FPS using the settings and frames per second showing on the screen. During that event, I had the same FPS as I have right now, which means it definitely wasn't an issue with my physical hardware not being able to display. The glitchiness of the game was definitely not due to my connection, so I don't know what it was. Maybe it was an in-game situation with a lot of people jumping on and the game not being able to calculate people's positions. It's a possibility, but I doubt that it is the reality of the situation. Okay, the next thing on this insanity that happened within the game was, okay, I'm trying to say this here as calmly as possible. The thing which happened in the game that I just couldn't understand was the amount of glitchiness when it came to hunting. Hunting is definitely a fun objective for you to do. When you hunt creatures that hunt you back, it's quite easy. But when you hunt creatures that evade you, the lag is just unbelievable. I've started using a fire staff. I'm just going to show you. Right, that's what I'm using. The reason for it is when it came to my... Oh, sorry, it's not showing. When it came to my previous weapon, the musket, I kept running out of ammo. It isn't very consistent on picking up ammo and crafting ammo. I haven't even tried to do it. I don't intend to do it because I want better weapons. So nonetheless, I ended up using this fire staff. And the fire staff can fire at a good rate. It can help you stop taking heavy damage, and it definitely helps against certain types of opponents. I am playing major tank build, so it isn't the most effective weapon for me. Heavy DPS might want to keep one of these long-range weapons on them. It keeps them away from the front and it will allow them to use mana instead of using ammunition. It will keep the cost of playing the game low. 1 second, I just want to alter this as well. Okay, the next thing which was a major killer in terms of time is definitely the fact that you couldn't craft things efficiently, right? When we first started the game, the starter areas were in an okay situation. They started getting captured really, really quickly, and here's the reality behind it. Those who had fast internet speeds, really overpowered internet speed, those were at least double the minimum requirement, were definitely on the game a lot sooner. People like me who were on after 28 hours, it wasn't due to download, it was due to preparation before getting onto the game, making sure that everything was set up, everything could run, double checking that my system wasn't overloaded or anything in the background. That was the whole reason why I took an extra 4 hours before I got onto the game. Things like that there really did slow down my jumping into the game. In terms of quests and the way that the map displays, it's a bit too inconvenient. I will not deny that there is no minimap in the game and it does interfere a lot. This abandoned event situation which is showing on the side is literally taken away my HUD, which gave me all of my information for what I was doing. I don't have information on upcoming events. I don't have information on what I am completing. So yeah, a lot of major downfalls on that particular section. I'm just going to walk through this little fresh water. Okay, there we go. I'm just feeding that. I already knew it was on the other side. I know there's one or two inside Covenant's church over here. I'm just gonna grab them as well. Yeah, they're worth some XP. Okay, so yeah, that's the whole thing when it comes to Covenant on this side. Yeah, sorry, I get very distracted when it comes to this. I was actually gonna play and review at the same time, but I couldn't in the end. Okay, right. Let's see if I can. No, it didn't let me. I wanted to sit in the chair. Okay, this is a better spot. It looks more enticing. It looks like I'm doing something worthy of Covenant. Okay, so let's get back to the craziness that happened in the game. Drifting off topic. So the fact that people got on way ahead of others made the game really difficult, and I suspect this is going to be the reality for the game. The advantage of those who were on in the start was the advantage of those who came on slightly later. There is no advantage for those who were late, right? They were at a total disadvantage. The 20 hours gave them such a head start that the difference between me and someone who started playing immediately on the start right now is almost 14 to 15 levels. And yeah, I am about 4 hours behind on where I should be. But it's crazy to imagine that this was how the game played. It played as a nice gameplay overall, but the cost of building gear, the cost of crafting gear is really insane, and the cost of getting a city was also really insane. We had to contribute 100,000 gold to get a city, and let me just show you that the Inven Nation, the alliance that I'm in, did get a city. There it is. Where is it? Here's it. Inven Nation. There we go. Look at this, right? Crafting, we have tier 3 workshop. Outfitting, we have tier 2. We have tier 2, tier 2. Just look at that. Taxes are average. Housing taxes are high. Crafting fee is high. And refining fee is high. So yeah, everything was higher in that sense. As you can see, these are the two corps who are going for the location. What's their influence in the territory? So yeah, that's the reality behind it. And if you look at this territory, we really did push really far out. And if you want to see what I mean by really far out, these are the starter areas down here, over here, and over here. These are your 3 starter areas. This is also a starter area. I don't know if this is a starter area. Wait, let me just go down. No, there is definitely not a starter area. And neither is that. Sorry. My bad. And neither is that. Okay, so those which aren't claimed weren't starter areas. They're crazy high level areas that you can't really function in. And look at this. The starter areas are all owned by one faction. The reason is they had the head start with majority players on the higher end of things. It basically became external pay-to-win source for these players. If they have better internet, if they upgrade their internet a little bit, they win majorly. Okay, let me get that the screen. I can't get rid of that abandoned event warning. It's just irritating me that it's there. I've been trying to get rid of it for a few minutes. Okay, I'm just gonna get out of the game for now. I'm just gonna go back to main menu. Alright, so overall, the game was fantastic, right? The PvE aspects of the game were absolutely easy to play. The PvP aspects were a bit different. I'm just going to say that they're for the least. They really weren't what you would be expecting from a game of this caliber. My audio is gone a bit loud. Alright, that is perfect. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so the download speed situation definitely made a big difference. People who got on a lot earlier had a lot of an advantage, and the advantage is like the difference between a starter and not a starter, sorry. The difference is like heaven and earth. Just to be honest about it, it was so insane that I can't even describe how insane it was. The people who started in the start, if they challenge you to PvP, they two-shot you to death. Those who started early would generally camp out the areas where they knew you were going to be running for missions so that they could level up a little bit faster. And they'd just be sitting with powerful weapons sitting at the entrance to a city. And you'd never even know that they dare to kill other PvP players. You just all of a sudden get this barrage of fire hitting you, and you're dead. 2 shots, you're dead. They come in all of a sudden with the shield charge, you're stunned, you're dead. And that was the reality behind it. I watched so much of the PvP players just ganging up on low level players. It happened to be the way that they were farming levels really quickly, and that was it. It's not like they were engaging on the fair play PvP. You did get 1 or 2 individuals who would challenge you to a duel, right? And the duels were quite fun, to be honest. When they challenge you to a duel, you'd get this quick notice, and you'd have F1, F2 to accept or decline. And if you accept it, I suspect it was more fun to play with a direct duel because you knew the fight was coming. Unlike when you fought in the open world with PvP to get a little bit more XP, and all of a sudden someone camps you at the gate. So yeah, that was really, really awkward. And a lot of these PvP players also were preying on higher level players who were farming up more XP using the PvP buff. When your PvP flag is when you PvP flag, you earn more XP. You know what? It is a fair way to gain more reward. You're taking a bigger risk because players can attack you. But the thing was, the moment a player was doing it just for PvE XP, when they got caught, when they got caught off guard, or when they got caught from the back, it was an instant 2 hits and they did, because they're in the middle of fighting 3 or 4 plague or 3 or 4 farmers or miners, and then all of a sudden you just see this guy come out from a bush, or this guy come out from the side of the town, and he 2 shots the guy who's been fighting all this time to try and kill 3 plague. He gets killed, and this guy takes out the plague. So he gains a PvP kill, which is higher XP, and he gains the kills that the other person was busy with. So a lot of people did that. They're predatory type play. I know it's a valid play style for MMOs, but you know what? The fact that it became more unfair was due to the fact that players were able to keep themselves hidden when it came to fighting. I think the duel system was really, really well initiated. I think asking a person for a duel every time you try to fight them in PvP is definitely the way to go, because if they have to accept the duel each and every time, that means you're going to get a fair fight 90% of the time. Surprise attacks are good for full-scale PvP, I will not lie. So if you are engaging in a war, I won't deny that a surprise attack will be a good thing. But when you're just engaging in regular fights like this, no, it's not good enough. It's not to the level that you want in this game. So yeah, that's the way that I viewed all of this as a beginner player. I know that it's not the easiest thing to be criticizing a game that is this fantastic, but yeah, those were some of the problems, and it's a very easy fix. If we had received a 24-hour advantage on the start for the download, I think a lot more players would have been on launch of the beta. We would have had a lot more feedback and a lot more information. We would have known whether the servers really could be stressed or not. And right now, as it stands, I don't think that they really stress test the server enough, because you definitely did have some instances of heavy lag, and those heavy lags weren't due to connection speeds, because I can vouch for it. You had glitches where you were getting stuck in rocks and trees when too many people were in an area. You have problems with hunt missions where you hit creatures when you miss them, and you miss creatures when you hit them, which is another situation with hitboxes and lag and the number of people in an area. Because the AI is running so many calculations at the same time, it can't tell you what's actually going on. And I've noticed that for the elk hunt missions, when it's more than 5 or 6 people, that's when this happens. Now, that is my general feedback on how the gameplay went. To be honest, PvE was fantastic. Multiplayer co-op was definitely very, very underpowered. They need to improve the servers a lot more. As you can see, my connection is showing low with about a 250 to 300 kilobyte download and upload speed. It's crazy speeds. It should be giving me enough to stay in the game, but it doesn't. It's showing me as red, so a poor connection, even though I actually can play the game and interact with the game. I'm above minimum spec requirements, so I don't know why that is, but that's the reality behind it. I think maybe it's because I'm cross-continentally linking. So yeah, that's about all that I have to say. Catch you all in the next video, and that will be the launch of this game. Yeah, so the next time you will see New World is when the game launches. See you all then, and have a good day.